Welcome back to my series on making Cockatrice. This is Gennaro Veltane, and here we'll be discussing how to build a deck. So this is my layout when I first start up Cockatrice, or I can show you from the start again. This may look different than yours because Cockatrice does allow you to customize the layout as you wish. So by all means, if you don't like the way that it's set up, you can always take the cards, move them around. You can pop them out so that they are a separate field altogether. If you're using a dual monitor, you can drag it off the screen, put it there, or you can have it hidden or even overlapping each other as well. As such, the customization is all yours. So this is just how I like to have it set up. So to get a deck started, what we'll do is go to Deck Editor and hit New Deck, which will clear out our deck screen here. The first thing you will have to do, this is required, is your deck name, obviously, because that's the name of the file itself where the deck will be stored. Comments are optional, but you can always have that saved in case you ever want to go back and be like, what is the purpose of this deck? What are the win cons? How does it function? You can make a mental note to yourself here for your own reference. Sometimes we have way too many decks, and we don't know what's going on. After you set that up, then you can go through your card list here and choosing the cards that you'd like to have. In order to add a card to the deck list, you have to highlight the card that you would like and double click on it. It will automatically categorize the card in the list depending on the type that it is, and it's in alphabetical order. So if I go through here, and I'm just choosing these for this demonstration purposes, I'm going to choose a Hedron Scavenger, Scrabbler, who is also a creature. Even though he's an artifact creature, he's still counted as a creature first. We will choose a sorcery, an artifact itself, instant, enchantment, and a land. So as you can see here, I have chosen multiple cards, and they are automatically categorized as such. And as you can see here, even though I added Magma Rift first, Elemental Appeal will show up above it because it's, again, in alphabetical order. After you have set up, you can also see here the number of cards in your deck, which gives you a great idea on what to keep in mind when building. One thing I recommend, because my videos will primarily focus on the commander side of Magic, my recommendation is when you're building the deck, keep it at 99 cards in the main deck. I only say this because we found it is best practice to take your legendary creature and put them in the side deck to save time later when setting up your game, which I will show in a later video on how to get a game started. This makes it a lot easier to find your commander rather than having to go through the deck list itself in its entirety. So when you get these set up here, again, this is you have that all set. Once you're completed with your deck, one more thing, my apologies, but if you do want to get more than one land in your deck, let's say for example I need islands in my deck and I can I can only add one at a time. I can double click on there, keep double click on here to keep adding the lands, or you can highlight the card in your list and just add the button there to add the amount of islands that you need in your deck. If you move one too many, you can also remove it the same way. Or if you want to remove the entire row completely, just hit the X button and it takes out the entire list. And then you can do as such. So this way, it kind of gives you a great idea of how many cards are in your deck and how the breakdown is. If you set that up after you have completed your deck list, for example, what you can do is complete it as such. Make sure you save your deck. This is important as the deck will not save itself automatically. As you can see here, there's a little asterisk, which means there's unsaved changes to the deck itself. So after when you named it here, as you can see, it has named itself automatically. For purposes, I will go ahead and replace that test deck, and then I'm going to go ahead and new deck to erase it from here, and then I'm going to go ahead and load our deck. So this way it shows up here. The great thing about the deck lists is that they are Cockatrice universal. So you know, and I believe that you can also you can share these with other people as well through chat, through Discord. It's a lightweight text file, so it's really easy just to kind of copy and share it to somebody else, so that you can kind of get evaluations, or like if they want to use it or they want to test it, they can do so on their client. And keep in mind too that the custom art that you've chosen for the cards on your set will not reflect on theirs. So they can, you know, see it how way they want to see it on their client. After you have set up your cards here, you can always evaluate your deck as well by clicking on the deck editor and go to send deck with online service. It gives you a, you know, deck list option in decklist.org. You can analyze the deck either at tappedout or deck stats. I believe that deck stats is a really great resource that allows you to really kind of like, you know, put it out here, and you can see what the cost is of the deck in, you know, paper form, which is a great idea as well. So that way, if you want to buy the cards, this is a great way to kind of get an idea of what your deck is going to cost and to adjust it. It does the breakdown as such, similar to what you have seen in the other screen, and it also gives you the average mana cost as well. And then if you go to your detail screen, it gives you more breakdown, you know, how the cards are distributed, depending on what kind of, you know, what kind of cards they are, creatures, lands, spells, how the mana distribution is amongst the cards that are not lands, and how your land value, land resources are. So if you have like a lot of red here, but you don't have enough, you know, red mana source distribution, this is a great way to kind of fix that, you know, on your end. Another thing that you can do as well, in the building the deck, so that is how you know, would do that, and that's how you build a deck. So hopefully that makes sense. You can also load a deck by multiple sources by using, you know, again, using the load deck from your resources, which does show you here. And then you can also copy the deck from the websites as well, which I'm not doing a very good job of showing here. This is not a complete deck on this end, but I do believe under tabbed out, let me pull that up here. Let's say, for example, we see this deck right here, and we kind of like what it is. We can go to the copy. It will have you sign in if you are not already signed in to this website. So I go ahead and quickly log myself back into this website, and then copy the deck list here. And I believe this should copy the deck list. Oh, it copies to my file. So what we will do is we'll go ahead and click on the export download. You can click on the MTG Arena, which I believe it should work for our system here. You might have to tinker with a little bit. So there might be a little bit of, you know, modification here, but as you can see, it pretty much copied over our, you know, deck. Again, you might have to make some adjustments to the system itself, which it does show here. This is in the sideboard. Unfortunately, I'm not sure how it did that, but that's easily fixable. And I should be able to... So because it did show the commander as the first one, let's take a look here. So let's copy out him. As such, you're going to troubleshoot with me here in this video. We'll upload that as such. We might have to make adjustments. That's our main deck. And then we can look for our commander manually. Let's type in Halvar like so, and then add him to sideboard. So that way we have 99 cards in our main deck, and we have our commander right here. We can enter the deck name Halvar, and if we wanted to as well, just so that we can keep an eye out for it, we can copy this right here and then put that into our description, so that way we know where the deck came from. If there's any changes or that creator makes anything new, we can also just check it out here. I apologize, I definitely made this is an unedited kind of video, but hopefully this kind of makes sense to you. If you have any questions, let me know. Again, I appreciate your time and watching. Have a great one and enjoy. Game on.